and that he's not one of the most well-liked players. Cam, why is that now the conversation?
I'm gonna get to that point, Marley, but I just want to make this point in regards to the trade. I'm not saying that you do not miss something of impact with a player like Micah Parsons. Mm-hmm. I agree with Dan. Bro, a record to say the absolute least. Yeah. What he's been able to do, while he's been in this league has been nothing less than amazing. But what I was saying at the end was you don't know price to value what you're going to get from the Packers. You can find that out in 6 months or less. For the Dallas Cowboys, you find out in 2 to 3 years, maybe even more, after you've garnered the picks and or made some type of decision of acquisitions with those picks. See, that's where I'm at with it, and that's where I'm able to say this has nothing to do with personal. This has everything to make more sense to put the Dallas Cowboys in contention. Yes, is it a 30th pick or a late 20 pick? Yes, cool, but that still gives you 2 first-round picks for 2 years. And that's extremely valuable.
But Cam, 3 years from now, Dak Prescott's going to be in his 12th or 13th season. And so if we're talking about continuing to build a football team that you think Jerry Jones is only going to be going so much longer. And so there's no way, football sense-wise, that when you took Micah Parsons and you told everybody this guy's going to be on a Hall of Fame trajectory, that you sit there and go, in 4 years we'll get rid of him. And we'll get rid of him you got fleeced. Right. I think the most shocking part about this, Cam, Stephen A. Molly, is for a man that is ridiculously successful business-wise, he got punked business-wise. If we're just being candid, David Mulgeta punked him.
I don't look at it that way. I don't look at it that way. Only in this regard, Dan.
Yeah.
The word punk, I don't think is applies and it's appropriate because the whole point with Jerry is that to me, business went out of his mind. And he's like, the hell with you.
And that's why you're saying personal.
The hell with you.
Sure.
I'm not going to be punked. You're not going to tell me what to do. I own this organization. I put myself on the line. I contemplated. My wife and the family were worried about me committing suicide because of the kind of debt that I was in when I purchased this franchise and the kind of hole that I put myself in, having 3 $1 billion lawsuits against me. This is the kind of stuff that he brought up last week. He regurgitates this stuff over and over because it's in his mind. But I want to say this, and I want to get back to Cam, because Cam, let me tell you what bothers me about superstar talents like yourself when you come on the air and you say the kind of stuff you just said. So we're talking about 6 deals that took place this offseason that were all considered record-breaking deals. The 6 deals with the highest average annual contract given to non-quarterbacks all happened this past offseason. Micah Parsons yesterday, TJ Watt, $41 million, July 17th. Jamar Chase, March 18th, $40.25 million. Myles Garrett, Cleveland, $40 million, March 14th. Daniel Hunter, Houston, $35.6 million, March 21st. Max Crosby, the Raiders, $35.5 million, March 5th. The point that I'm making in bringing that up, Cam, is this. Everybody ain't y'all. When you sit up there and act like, yo, all right, these are good players, and we'll see. Wait a damn minute. They ain't y'all. I don't need to see. Okay, I don't need to. It's not venturing too far to imagine. Like if you Carolina and you tried to replace Cam in his prime, you know what I'm saying, and you got 2 late first-round picks and a good player that's coming off a down year. It don't take Einstein to deduce. That doesn't measure up.
Correct.
Because we've seen you. We've seen Micah. We know what this brother brings to the table. That ain't going to be enough. 2 late first-round picks for that brother?
I want to get back to the crux of it, what Cam was saying earlier. Cam, so are you saying that the Cowboys won this trade? That's where you are this morning.
I am. Yes, they won the trade because remove emotions. What I'm saying is this. In order to be good in this league of the NFL, you need one thing. That's talent. Okay, that's not to say that Micah Parsons isn't talent. Bless you. What I am saying is, and if you do not have talent, what next do you need is acquisition ability to get talent. And that's what Jerry Jones did. He has potentially 5 picks in the first round alone, or no, he has 4 picks in the first round alone as of today. We don't know what Kenny Clark is going to be. He's made it abundantly clear and said this, we want to stop the run, right? So we know, Dan, as a great player that Micah Parsons is, he's an edge rusher. If you know any type of defense in this league, the first thing that they want to stop is what, Dan?
The run.
We need to stop the run so we can make the offense become one-dimensional. So all these things are formulas that the Dallas Cowboys have said and implemented to insert moving forward.
You know what? That sounds beautiful. Eloquently stated, Cam. Eloquently stated. Well, bravo, okay? There's just one problem with your argument. The brother got said, that's wrong. That would be two. I'm sorry, two of them, all right? One that he's wrong, and two, the why. The why is it ain't just about him being traded. It's where he was traded to. You're talking about a contender within the same conference as the Dallas Cowboys that, by the way, whipped the Dallas Cowboys' ass the last time they met in the playoffs a couple of years ago, because Dallas didn't make it last year. And then on top of it all, not only did that happen,
the Packers didn't either.
But all right, I understand it. But they
60
beat
seconds
Dallas.
here, guys, but we're coming back.
Bottom line is, they got younger and better, and they're within the same conference as the Cowboys.
Oh, my good Lord. So, okay, 4 picks in the first round over the next 2 years. The last 2 defensive linemen that the Cowboys have picked late in the first round, because that's where these picks are going to be, have been Mozzie Smith and Taco Charlton. Taco Charlton did not pan out, and Mozzie Smith has not either. You can have all the picks you want. If you don't make the right ones, it's not going to matter. The second thing is, who won this trade? We're talking about a team in Green Bay that has a top 5 offense, now a top 10 defense, or a top 5 defense. It's going to now be the best pass rush duo in the NFC. You pair Parsons with Rashawn Gary, this team is the team to beat when it comes to outside of Philadelphia. The last thing, Molly, is this, because Cam, there's no way.
Real quick, though, I got to get into
There's no way that we can sit here and say that the Cowboys are an afterthought now. They're going to have the worst defense in the division.
Okay, hold that thought. Plenty more meat on the bone. You can expound on that.
It's freed up $24 million in 2025 salary cap space, boosting availability funds for over $44 million. On top of that, at the bare minimum here, you can potentially get 3 good players for the price of 1. Now, granted, is Michael Parsons a cornerstone player for the Dallas Cowboys? Absolutely. Being able to garner 52.5 sacks over a 4-year span, unheard of, exceptional. But when you're saying price to value, Jerry Jones has identified and said this: what somebody was willing to pay a person, I was not willing to pay. In order for you to get the person that is still up on the contract for the Dallas Cowboys, you're going to have to pay top dollar, which the Green Bay Packers did. When I'm looking at this whole situation, I'm saying, hey, is this an emotional impact to the locker room? Yes. But for the betterment of the locker room, you have an opportunity to get 3 potential players for future situations. That is undoubtedly something that you will want to say as a decision maker. But here's the thing, though, Stephen A. and Dan, to think about. We will know if this is a good trade for the Green Bay Packers in less than 6 months. We won't know if this is a good trade for the Dallas Cowboys until about 2 to 3 years after those picks have already made their impact in
I think we're dealing with some technical difficulties with Cam, but I want to kick it to you. It's a good time to pause anyway, because we're on polar opposites. Stephen A. just said this is personal, not business, and then Cam saying this is purely football. But obviously with the Dallas Cowboys, it's going to take some time to see how it all pans out. Green Bay, he says the next 6 months, we're going to know whether this was the right choice. Where are you on this?
If it's purely football, it's a disaster, and it's one of the worst trades in the history of the organization. You don't. Cam knows this. There's only so many game records. There's people who change games. This guy is one of the 6 or 7 game records in the NFL. You don't give that player away for the 30th pick of the draft for 2 years in a row. And while I agree with Cam, we're going to know with Green Bay, because Green Bay unquestionably is the team now most equipped to beat the Eagles. They should be in the NFC Championship game. I know what Green Bay's defense is going to be like.
you.